Jordan, you've came full circle now, coming back to Dundee United with your new role. First of all, what is the role and what's the job description?
It's the head of academy recruitment and the Tannadice, so I'll be overseeing all the scouts and all the kids coming through. But I think it's a role that suits me well, obviously coming through the academy as a young boy to getting in the first team sort of dressing room, so I know exactly what it takes to get there on the standard and the level that you need to beat this club.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try and do this chronologically. So, we look back to your time as a player at Dundee United. Obviously the well documented health scares.
Yep.
That shaped your future, obviously. But I remember at the time speaking to you, and you talked about the desire to get back playing at the top level. What transpired after? You had that belief, but what transpired that made you decide?
Just my body was getting worse and worse. I had obviously the 90 lymph nodes removed from my neck and my shoulder and stuff, and the more I was playing, the more knocks I was getting, the sore it would be. I could hardly sleep at night because of the pain. And then it's just I couldn't get the sharpness back. I was getting fitter and fitter. I just couldn't get the sharpness back to be obviously back at United, which at the time was hard to take. It was dropping lower and lower, and the lower people tell you, the lower you go, the harder it was, and the pain was just getting worse and worse over the time. And we spoke to my doctor and stuff like that, who at the time he didn't want me to even try to get back sort of playing. But I felt that after leaving here, I went to Limerick, didn't play too much there, and then I felt that after that I moved to Thailand. I played in Bangkok, and then after that I decided enough was enough. The body couldn't take any more, so I've decided to stop playing.
Going back to your time at United now, you got a new contract after your I think possibly the second health scare, if I remember correct. During that period, were you looking at that and would you still believe that the future was at Dundee, or was it during that period did you start to accept that things were slowing down?
No, definitely. Before I got released sort of from United, I'd played 4 reserve games and I scored a hat-trick against them all. It was Rangers, Motherwell, St Mirren, and I think we played Lockheed Juniors. I scored a hat-trick in every one, so I'd scored 12 goals before Mix released me, so I was getting my confidence back, and Dunfermline came in for me again to go back there, which in hindsight I should have went, and Rafe Rovers asked me to go in as well, but it wasn't good enough at the time. Maybe for Dundee, I had better strikers ahead of me at the time, which I'd admit that, but I felt that I made the wrong decision where I went after that. I should have went to Dunfermline or Rafe Rovers or something like that, to be honest.
So you make that decision, as you say, after you've been to Thailand. It's evidently a tough decision, but you're left with the choices of what do you do next. So how did that thought process go?
I was thinking, I got offered. I done well in Thailand. I could have played there, but I was over there myself. No friends, no family. I was only not many people in the sort of around you where I stayed spoke English, and then from which of course I never spoke very good Thai as well. So it was hard period, but I enjoyed it. 9 months here, I had the best 9 months of my life, but I felt it was time to come back to the real world, so to speak, to kick on. And I got offered this after I was doing a bit of scouting and stuff and a bit of recruitment for a few other people and a few other clubs down south. So I felt that it was time to come back here.
The scouting work that you were doing, is that good preparation, or does that tie in to what you're going to be doing?
It's always something that I've always kind of enjoyed, was the scouting and noticing players, especially young players, to see if they do all the sort of right things that we're looking for, that Andy Goldie's sort of bringing into the new academy. So you know exactly what you're looking for in the younger players, but I was looking at sort of older players as well in the first team games and stuff for sort of a different club in England, and it was something I enjoyed as well, just you see the game from a different angle from playing. You're just normally just so focused on playing, whereas you take yourself back from the stand and you just watch an individual for the full game, and you see everything he does for 90 minutes, so it's something I really enjoy.
You've mentioned Andy Goldie there. How closely do you work with him? How does that relationship work? Yeah,
well, Andy's he oversees everything, so he'll have the final say, and he's been very good to me, and I've learned a lot of him so far, just the way he works. He's very professional in everything he does as well, so it's something that it's new to me, this role, but I'm learning every day and I'm really enjoying it, and it's been a pleasure to work with so far.
And I'm trying to understand, do you have a role of scout, a team of scouts that come to you with?
Before was maybe the problem at the club, was we didn't have enough scouts going round on the ground to go and identify new players. So now Andy's, and we've got a lot more scouts who are going to the games, and then the scouts will identify the players, they'll go and watch them, then I'll go and have the final say to say whether they're good enough to come in for a trial, and then it'll be decided by the coaches and Andy obviously, but the scouts go and watch him a few times, and then when they think he's good enough, then I'll go and make the final say.
And that's all age groups up to
the
17s,
17s, 18s, yeah, that'll be it. But I won't be dealing with above the academy. It goes to reserves and stuff like that. That's above me.
Different sort of pressure to being a player, but do you feel the pressure of that role?
Yeah, massively, because I want people to go and have a better career than what I did as well. You just see, I know how good a club Dundee is. They look after you all the way through, and you want to go and see. I think when I see the boys come through and make their debut for the first team, it'll be something that everybody will feel proud of, and if you've played a tiny part of bringing them to the club, then. But I feel my best role is selling the club, how good the actual club is, because I know firsthand how good they've been to me. I know it's a massive club, Dundee, for me one of the biggest clubs in Scotland, and I think if we get the academy right, then the first team will benefit massively the way it has done over the years.
You touched on some there. Some supporters would look, and perhaps some young lads, and say, they come to a club like Dundee United, they don't know the other side of the coin, they don't know how lucky they are to be here. And I guess in your position, given what you went through, given that you were unable to fulfil the dreams you had, does that give you a good starting point to advise youngsters?
Definitely. I think that to give them a bit of advice, just to enjoy every training session, because I know people, it's easy to say, it could be a last training session, but honestly, it could be a last training session. Just play with a smile, enjoy every minute. There's nothing better than out there playing with a ball. You've got no worries when you're playing football. People might at home have different problems, but once you cross that white line at training or playing a game, that's all you think about is football, and you've got a smile on your face for however long it lasts for. So it's something that every kid, especially growing up, should just love. And if they don't love football, then they're not the sort of kid that we want at this club. We want people who want to learn every day with the coaches, that work hard, and obviously most importantly just enjoy it.
What I asked you earlier about the pressure on it, but how will it be determined success in your role? What will you see as success? Just
players become better people first and foremost, but obviously getting into the first team and the first team squad, improving the first team squad, and then ultimately if they get sold for lots of money, then the club's going to be happy as well. If they're playing in the first team and they've obviously made the club a lot of money, then everybody will be happy. And you go to see them like people like Andy Robertson go to do well for themselves. I'm sure that's what you want to see from the kids coming through it, definitely.
From your own perspective, you're still a young man, you've got a long career ahead of you. Do you see this as part of a career, or is it a long-term project here? You spoke about how how well Dundee United treated you and how much love you have from the club. Do you see this as a stop on a future route, or what do you see? That
was the thing. I got offered the and I had of recruitment job in Thailand as well when I was over there. But as soon as I got the offer from Dundee, I didn't have to think about it. But coaching and sort of stuff is not something that interests me. I tried it, just wasn't for me. I prefer the scouting and stuff like that. So of course I would get ambitions, but to maybe one day you move up and do the the first team over. But just now I'm delighted to be doing the academy stuff.
Yeah, what was it about the coaching? You'd mentioned off camera earlier about that as well, that you just didn't fancy coaching. What was it that you didn't catch your eye?
I just never had the same drive. I think the same hunger that a lot of coaches have got here. That they do it all and they do a great job and stuff. I just never enjoyed the actual teaching the kids how to kick the ball. You just expect. That was my problem. I just expected them to know how to control and pass the ball, whereas you had to teach them how to what part of the foot to kick with. Something just comes naturally to you that I just didn't enjoy it at all.
Just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
How much of your role is, I imagine you go around and see a lot of games, but how much of it's admin based, or is it a site? Is it is it something that you just make the predictions, or is there an analytical side to the process?
I think it's hard to do that when they're really young, because there's nothing really to it's just your sort of eye when they're young. Obviously as they get older and older, there's more stuff that'll come into it, but now if you're looking at a 10-year-old kid, it's just on the eye if their awareness is good, if they're checking their shoulder, if they're both footed, if they're a good attitude as well, first and foremost. If they're not like misbehaving or shouting at referees or swearing and stuff, we don't want them with that sort of attitude at the club. We want people who are well behaved, work hard, and obviously got ability as well.
It sounds like there's a code of conduct. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, massively. Dundee, you're representing the badge no matter what age you are, if you're who you are. If you're Dundee, you represent the club, and we want people to behave in the right way, and that includes the parents at the games as well. They'll have to behave the way we should at a professional sort of club at Dundee. There'll be no shouting and swearing at the kids or the referee or anything like that. I'll be very, very strict with that as well. Yeah.
I asked you earlier about how your goals would be achieved, or what the targets would be. I think for everybody that's in scouting, they all want that one success story that they could look back on their career and say, I was the man that brought him through. Is that part of the desire, that you want to bring somebody through that's going to achieve stuff at Dundee?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant, but I think just the way I can help them as well, and with advice, obviously, at every age group I've been through, from the 12s, 13s, 14s, to every age group, to reserves, into the first team dressing room. So I've been in the same path that they're going on, and the players around me who've went same path as me, but then they've took off. People like John Suter, Ryan Golds, and people like that have just went on to a different level after getting into the United's first team. So I think I'll be able to advise them as well. If MD ever needs anything, help the parents as well. If some kids will play well for 3 or 4 games, then they'll have a wee spell where they could be growing or whatever, and then they'll have a few bad games, but I'll be there to reassure them that it's not down to 1 or 2 games. It'll be the full season, watch them develop. That'll make me a happy man, to watch them develop into good players.
Make you a happy man. What does it mean to be back at Dundee United, Jordan?
Honestly, you could sit here and just, a lot of people, I'm sure you get people to talk rubbish about how much a club means to them, but the club genuinely means the world to me. They'll say through everything with me. They stood by me when I was at my lowest, when I was struggling. The club was always there. Everybody around the club, you guys are obviously there from when I was there, the chefs, everybody. It means the world to me, and I always thought that I'd be back playing with the first team. I said I'd be back within 5 years, and that's 5 years, but I'm not playing, so I'm here, and I'll be doing everything I can to make sure the club gets back to where it belongs, and I'm sure the first team will do well as well, but it's not down to me. It's down to me to produce the players for the manager, Robbie, who I played with at United years ago. So I want to produce players, get the right players in, and then just watch them do well here at Tannadice, and I'll be a proud man when I see that.